There is a tool that I use every day when I bake einkorn bread, and it's called a linen couche. The reason why I use this is because linen does not stick to dough, and einkorn dough is really wet and sticky, so it's a nice way to cover the dough when it's proofing. I have here a ciabatta dough made with einkorn flour, and as you can see, it's really, really wet and sticky. So to shape a ciabatta is really pretty easy because this is a very rustic type of bread. So it looks good even if it's not perfect. You're going to basically fold this into thirds, turn it over, and you're going to stretch it out into the ciabatta shape. And this would be ready to go, but you still have to proof this for another hour before you put it in the oven. And so if you just left this on the counter, first of all, it would stick to your counter. But if you put it on a baking sheet, it would sag out, so your loaf wouldn't rise up in the oven as well as it will if you wrap it in the linen to hold its shape. You're going to heavily dust the linen with flour. I'm going to dust the top of the loaf so it doesn't stick to the linen. It's going to be a little tight so that there'll be some pressure against the linen, and that is going to give the loaf a really nice shape. It's not going to be too tight because I don't want it, when it expands, for the corners to break. So you give it a little room to expand, but not too much. There will be no skin forming on the dough because it won't dry out. But the linen will absorb some of the moisture from the surface of the dough. So when I do put the bread in the oven, the crust will be nice and thin and very, very crispy. Another way that I like to use the couche is to line a colander, and I dust it with flour. I shape the loaf. I dust the top of the loaf with flour. And then I'm going to invert it into the colander so it will hold this nice round shape. Once I put it into the colander, I just cover it again. I tuck the linen over it and let it proof for an hour. Then, when this is ready, I'm going to open the linen and flip the loaf right into the heated Dutch oven. And I'm going to slash the top of the loaf. And as you see, the dough didn't stick to the linen and it's perfect.